Welcome back at Cobblestones or Skyscrapers, a podcast where we take an authentic look at what's really happening behind the scenes of New York City real estate. And today we are here with Kelly Rogers, associate broker at Living New York, a surfer, California-bred, even DJ. I'm so happy to have you on the show today. And let me start off with the question that we ask everybody. Cobblestones or skyscrapers?
Well, first, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Phil. I'd say skyscrapers.
Interesting. Okay, and why?
Why? Because you get good views.
All right.
And you get good service. And I like modern.
Great. And when did you first felt like you made it here in this city?
When I really felt it turned the corner for me, when I got to a place where I was able to support, my family and my mom, and sort of give back and stop thinking about myself so much, and hustling and, grinding and working and starting to kind of expand, what was important to me and starting to take care of other people. That for me personally felt like I made it. I mean, I think I always like to stay hungry and, continue to set new goals. But that was an important milestone that felt pretty gratifying.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Going into your style now. You have a style, you know this, right?
Okay.
You dressed up for today, and you look good. Suit or a wetsuit? How do you show up every day?
Well, I don't show up in a wetsuit, but I won't lie. Sometimes I come straight from Rockaway to my showings, and I do have a change of clothes. I did dress up a little bit today. You've seen me in some different attire. Normally, this is a pretty casual suit. Doesn't have a collar. I stay pretty loose because I think that is my style, both like conversationally and just how I interact with people. And so I feel more comfortable when I show up and I'm authentic.
Be yourself, right?
Yeah.
What do you consider a true luxury to have in New York City real estate?
Of course, one of the last luxuries is time.
Uh-huh.
So I think as an agent, and what I recognize in my clients that I work with, that they prioritize more and more all the time, is things that save them time and that make their life a little more frictionless, make their time at home more enjoyable, and allow them to do the things that they want to do.
Quality time?
Yeah.
How do you win back time when, what kind of properties are you thinking about?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's an abstract thing, like trying to save time, and from a lifestyle perspective, what I see in the values of my clients when they're looking at homes is service level. So in a real estate lens, I think the way you kind of buy back time for yourself is being in a building or a neighborhood that kind of your life
caters
revolves around. And in terms of the service level in a building, I think real luxury affords people the convenience of supporting their life, whatever it may be, in the building where they live, and the facilities that are right around them, so that everything else is easy and available for them to do.
How would you describe your negotiation style? Are you accommodating, aggressive, deceiving,
The California style. Well, I'm pretty collaborative.
Okay.
And I think the negotiation starts early. It starts when you first meet someone, whether you're on either side of the deal representing a seller or a buyer. When you meet a buyer's agent and their client, I think they get an immediate sense of who you are, and their first impressions matter. And I think if it comes to the point where we're negotiating a deal, they're not just thinking about the numbers, they're thinking about me and how I'm representing the seller. And if I'm looking out for them, there's always a duality in being a broker, right? We're trying to broker a deal and get everybody around the table and have everybody win. So I think trust and authenticity helps build that negotiation down the road, and it starts when you first meet people.
Now, are you like, do you see any resemblance between showing property, for example, this project,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe your experience in putting a show together as a DJ? Like how do you think that helps you and show up and put the show together?
Sure. That's an interesting correlation. I never really thought about that until today, but I think you're right. In a way, it's kind of low stakes. It's not like we're performers, because we have to be true to ourselves and be ourselves. But you do have to show off the property in the best light. And I think in that sense, being comfortable in front of people and
Reading
having
them.
performed before and just having that kind of comfort level, helps.
What was a lesson you had to learn the hard way?
Maybe I think, there's obviously a lot of obstacles and problems and things that we run into as agents, and things don't go our way. But I guess, I don't know, I don't have a clear, like, lesson that I've learned that what are the things about yourself that you would change? What's one failure that you can, improve upon? I just think I try to learn from everything that happens in real estate and try to think about the upside of it.
What's the superpower that you think is crucial for success in this industry?
Oh, the superpower is being yourself, for sure, and authenticity. And a second to that is obviously knowledge. I think you can't BS your way through this business, and people do respect substance and knowledge in what can be a very, showy and, highly image focused business. It isn't always, but obviously we see that in a lot of the media and the TV that is created. But yeah, the superpower is being authentic and, treating people like you want to be treated. I think goes a long way.
What was your biggest deal that never was?
Oh, my biggest deal that never was. I'm glad that I don't know what it is.
Oh, come
because
on. Everybody knows the biggest deal that didn't was.
The biggest deal, I'm sure, is the one that I never knew didn't happen.
So that's an interesting a parallel with the earlier question, lesson the hard way. You learned the hard way. It sounds like you have this defense mechanism of like, okay, you don't focus too much of what hasn't been, right? And what did, what never was. Something I remember from, actually, it was my first manager in this industry,
right?
And he was very clear about it. He was like, don't sit here complaining about something that you lost, which you never had, right?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Unless it's in your bank account, essentially, that means that it's fully done.
That's a great point.
But I'm still curious, though, that in this, in your tenure, which is not short, you have learned lessons or insights. Maybe you gained insights. Maybe we say it that way, that like, oh, that insight has helped me a lot.
Right.
Can you give an example of an insight that you experienced or just came to light when you said, oh, this has been very helpful in my career as a real estate agent?
In real estate, it's the same thing. You have a deal that was this close. It's like not having it, and you can't dwell on it, and you can kind of try to learn from what your part of it is. But a lot of this business is not being in control of a lot. We can show up, we can be ourselves, we can be prepared. But there's so much that's outside of our control. So I try not to let that, slow me down or get hung up on that.
So it's kind of coming back from an advantage point and back to deuce, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, okay. I'm in the same place I was before.
You were in the
I
same
lost
place.
the
You didn't
deal.
lose the game, but you're still in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going to lose,
like
maybe half the deals or points that you go up against. And another I had a manager, the broker that I first started with had a great saying, and this probably has helped inform that also, and said, no good work goes unpaid. And you can apply that to anything, but in this business, that has saved me from real discouragement on so many deals where you feel like, why do I keep, going around, and why am I working so hard on this deal? And then it falls apart, and you realize, you know what? I'm just sort of banking that for the next deal. It feels like you're just wasting time, but it takes all that effort to get to the next space,
Which could be a completely different deal somewhere else.
Right.
This experience helped you gain insight into, and keeps you prepared for what, the next challenge, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it can seem like a separate deal, but it's really transferable, and it's all part of the same, path.
Journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. I like that angle. If you were an investor, what building would you buy into tomorrow? We both work with international investors, both domestic and international. What would you do?
I would invest in this building at 517 West 29th Street. But no joking.
Yeah.
I love this location.
Where are
this building.
We?
So we are on the border of West Chelsea and Hudson Yards on 29th Street between 10th Avenue and 11th Avenue. And it's such a prime location that if I were an investor, and I do meet with obviously a lot of investors here, and part of not seeming too salesy is really, telling them what you think. And I do think I'm very, bullish about this area, this neighborhood, the type of development that happens in this area that aren't skyscrapers. They're like mid-rise boutique buildings, have a lot of craftsmanship, and there's so much development going on in this area that I think this little submarket is just going to see huge appreciation year over year, and it's pretty, resilient. So I think it's a great neighborhood to invest in.
So besides location, there are some other unique selling points to this building. The service, of course, but the parking is a big one too.
The parking's nice. Yeah, there's a private garage here. We have an amazing courtyard on the ground level that sits off the lobby and the fitness center, which is full of windows and sunlight, and then accesses the outdoor space. So that's nice. There's a beautiful roof deck with river views of the Hudson. And again, it's a relatively small building, so you kind of have like an intimate feel, with, I think, the standout kind of features, large, like floor to ceiling steel frame windows that kind of reflect the Chelsea warehouses and history of the art and the fashion. But as a ground up construction, they wanted it to look and feel like the neighborhood.
Now you made it here. We spoke about that briefly. Now you can make it anywhere. This is New York, right? What exotic location would you dream of living and selling real estate in?
Well, if it weren't here, and New York isn't exotic enough already, it would have to be somewhere near a beach. So think Costa Rica, Lisbon, Portugal, Hawaii.
Big wave destinations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe even Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh.
That's a beautiful place, just to keep it in the U.S.
Yes.
Those are all good spots.
17.
Thanks. Nice
And
to talk with you.
yes, all the best. Thank you for watching today's episode of Cobblestones or Skyscrapers with my friend Kelly Rogers here from Living New York. I hope you enjoyed an authentic look behind the scenes of what it takes to sell New York City real estate. And if you do, please comment. Let us know what you think. We want to make this as informative as possible. And don't forget to follow. See you next time.